Aston Martin has reignited talks about signing Max Verstappen, and this time, it's more serious than ever. Despite denials from both teams, it's clear that this story isn't going away anytime soon. Why? Because this isn't just a driver switch, it's potentially the biggest power shift in Formula One in over a decade. You have a Red Bull team that's been dominant for years, suddenly starting to show cracks, and an Aston Martin project that's been quietly building behind the scenes, with billions in backing, a new partnership with Honda, and now Adrian Newey joining the mix. If there was ever a moment for Aston Martin to go all in, this is it. And they're aiming right at the crown jewel, Max Verstappen. Verstappen's current contract with Red Bull runs through 2028. On paper, it looks like a lock, but F1 contracts are rarely as ironclad as they appear. There are whispers of performance clauses, exit triggers, and most importantly, growing frustrations behind closed doors. Red Bull has lost key staff, is wrestling with new technical regulations, and while Max is still winning, it's getting harder with every race. He's been driving out of his skin just to stay in contention, and that kind of pressure always opens the door to change. Now, let's talk numbers. Reports out of Italy have claimed that Aston Martin's backers, specifically Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, which owns a major stake in the team, and also sponsors it via Aramco, have put together a jaw-dropping offer, $300 million over 3 years. That's $100 million per season. Not just a contract, an empire. And here's the kicker. Aston Martin hasn't denied the existence of that offer. A team spokesperson issued a statement affirming their commitment to their current driver lineup, but pointedly avoided denying the $300 million rumor. When teams stay vague like that, it's usually because there's something brewing under the surface. Then there's Fernando Alonso. He recently signed a contract extension with Aston Martin, committing to race in 2026 and possibly beyond. But in a surprising twist, Alonso made it clear he wouldn't mind teaming up with Verstappen. In fact, he praised Max openly, calling him one of the most complete drivers he's ever seen, and hinting that their partnership could be very good for the team. But let's not forget the other piece of this puzzle, Lance Stroll. He's under contract, and his seat is protected by his father, Lawrence Stroll, the team owner. Yet his performances over the last few seasons have raised eyebrows. From missing Q2 after Q2 to crashing out during formation laps, yes, formation laps, there's a growing sense that he's holding the team back. So the question becomes, how much longer can Aston Martin afford to keep prioritizing nepotism over performance? If Verstappen were to join, Aston Martin would instantly become a title contender, especially with Newey now on board, and Honda returning as a works engine supplier in 2026. That combination of technical expertise, factory power unit support, and financial backing is exactly what any top-tier driver dreams of. And you can bet Max knows it. But Aston Martin isn't the only team knocking on Verstappen's door. Mercedes is in the hunt too. With Lewis Hamilton moving to Ferrari in 2025 and George Russell's contract still up for renewal, Mercedes has 2 open seats in a post-Hamilton world. Team principal Toto Wolff has already hinted that Verstappen is at the top of his list, calling him the benchmark in today's grid. And here's where things get really interesting. George Russell, instead of being defensive, has actually welcomed the idea of Verstappen joining the team, even if it means more competition for him. According to Russell, why wouldn't Mercedes want Max? He's the best driver in the world right now. That's not a threat. It's motivation. So what does Max himself think of all this? Publicly, he's brushed off the speculation. He told the media that he's not thinking about Aston Martin or Mercedes and remains committed to Red Bull. But let's be real, no driver at that level is unaware of what's going on around them. Behind the scenes, every elite driver is constantly evaluating their position, especially when titles are on the line and the machinery underneath them starts slipping. And that's exactly what's happening at Red Bull right now. Their early dominance in the 2022 and 2023 seasons gave them a massive buffer. But since the start of 2024, the RB20 has shown signs of vulnerability. The car's balance has been unpredictable. tire degradation has worsened. And perhaps most importantly, they're struggling to match the development pace of McLaren and Ferrari. Add in the transition to Red Bull powertrains with Ford in 2026, a massive unknown, and it's easy to see why Max might be reconsidering his long-term future. Christian Horner, of course, has tried to control the narrative. He insists the team is focused on performance, not politics, and that Verstappen remains fully committed. But even he had to acknowledge the internal noise and distraction within the team in recent months. Let's not forget, Verstappen's loyalty to Red Bull has always been tied to one thing: performance. He's not the kind of driver to stick around just for a paycheck or a brand legacy. If he believes the car isn't capable of winning, he'll walk. That's what makes this saga so fascinating. Aston Martin offers Max something Red Bull can't guarantee right now: a clean slate, a fresh challenge, and a chance to build something new from the ground up. Just like Michael Schumacher did at Ferrari, or Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes, he'd be the centerpiece of a multi-billion-dollar project with the full weight of a manufacturer behind him and a technical dream team led by Newey and Honda. On paper, it sounds perfect, but this is Formula One. Nothing is ever that simple. Contract buyouts, internal politics, engine preferences, even driver egos, all of it will come into play. And the clock is ticking. Teams need clarity before 2026, when the new regulations reset the playing field and engine partnerships become more crucial than ever. The reality is that Verstappen holds all the cards. He's the most valuable asset in the sport right now. Every team wants him, every sponsor wants him, and wherever he decides to go or stay will instantly tilt the balance of power in the paddock. So the big question is this: will Max Verstappen remain loyal to Red Bull, or will he be tempted by Aston Martin's blank check, Honda's factory power, and the promise of a new dynasty? One thing's for sure: this story is far from over. And no matter how many denials come out of Milton Keynes or Silverstone, the paddock knows one thing: when this much smoke surrounds one name, there's usually fire. What do you think? Will Max jump ship for a new challenge? Will Aston Martin break the grid wide open with a super team? Or will Mercedes sneak in at the last second? Let us know your take in the comments below. And if you're enjoying this deep dive, check out the video we've linked here that breaks down the 2026 F1 regulation changes and how they're going to shake up the sport like never before. Strap in. This is going to be a wild ride.